It's awesome to be here with you today. As I look around the room and hang out with people that I either have seen just yesterday at the DWeb Summit, or in some cases years ago, I'm filled with honor that you came out for our first ever Lab Day, especially because it was, as Jesse said, organized very last minute. So we hope to experiment with this event format. The goal of Lab Day is to create a space for people to present work, get feedback, and that is both early, very early work, could just be ideas. Like people could come up and talk about some idea, or to present all the way through finished work, things that we are shipping or things that we're putting out there. And this is an event for the whole Protocol Labs community. So as you know, we have a number of different projects that are going, and they all relate, but they're distinct. And so it ends up being that there are many events that are tuned for one event and not another. And so we wanted to have a way to bringing the whole community together. So be prepared to hear about a whole bunch of ideas that are related distantly or closely. And feel free to take it in different tangents or different directions. So the other thing is, this is a lab, right? So experiment. Feel completely, perfectly fine to throw out ideas, even if they're unfinished or not thought through. And the context of this is to help get other people thinking together. And presentations are an extremely good way of doing that. So not just presentations here, broadcast form, but also demos and just conversations and so on. So as you look around, you'll notice there are a bunch of different stations. And the whole point of this space is that you can use both. You can either be here with the presenter and talking together, listening, and so on, or you can go and have a side conversation and hack on something. And so as speakers, be prepared for people to be milling about and either going somewhere or coming back and so on. This is partly why we're recording the talks, so that we have all of that and all the people that are around get to experience it anyway. And so that people that are not here and couldn't be with us today can also see it. Note to speakers, we are going to record the talk, but if you don't want it, if at the end you don't want it released, that's fine too. We just want to record it and have it, and that way you can get feedback, you can show it, and so on. And yes, audience participants, don't feel pressure to come here and all be together. If you think it's really valuable to have a conversation on the side, feel free. Just keep your noise level down so the people that are sitting here are able to hear. How does that sound? Sound good? Great. So with the remaining, I'm going to move this so that I can see it. The lab. Solve your own problems. So I think what I want to do now is just give you a blazing fast introduction to Protocol Labs. How many people are familiar with who we are and what we do? Yeah, great. So this will be pretty quick review for everybody, and it will just set context with people that don't know. We're a lab focused on computing. So we're, as a species, going through probably the fastest and craziest technological transition we've ever gone through. And that's going from a pre-computing civilization to a post-computing civilization. It's been close to 100, I guess over 100 years technically, and it's still accelerating. And so what we will go through in our lifetimes over the next 50 years or more, hopefully more, we will see lots change. Lots around us will be impacted. It'll feel, in many cases, you will feel like you want it to go faster because certain things are not changing fast enough. In other cases, you'll look back and suddenly realize that some important piece of technology is now everywhere and has ramped up something pretty significant. So it is hard to step back and experience that change and actively work on it because you're caught in this world that is both simultaneously moving extremely quickly and changing humanity drastically, decade over decade, and at the same time, it also feels like nothing is changing and technology isn't improving. So that is the world we're in today. We focus on this pipeline. Protocol Labs thinks about going from ideas through refining those ideas into documents that can be pushed out, whether it's papers or specs or something like that, to turning that into software that can be deployed worldwide and then grant superpowers to humans. So this is an amazing age when we can easily turn our ideas into software, deploy them, and give people superpowers. That's unprecedented. I mean, we've had that for a while, but and we are so used to it that we take it for granted. And so I encourage you today to think through how you use software, how you develop software, and think through like what superpowers you want to give to the world. And I think that this is not a linear pipeline, right? There's a whole bunch of lines going all over the place. Sometimes you think of use cases and that motivates an idea. Sometimes some fundamental breakthrough will change the game completely, and then the idea starts there. But the whole goal of Protocol Labs is to vertically integrate this pipeline so that we can know how to do that right, so that we can take ideas and develop them, so we can find things that are really valuable that got stuck somewhere in the pipeline and push them along, and so that we can hone those things into great superpowers. There's a mountain of very valuable ideas stuck at the beginning of this pipeline that we want to help sift through this and so on. And I think the other thing to mention is we have this like stellar nursery concept, and the idea is Protocol Labs buds out projects. So we want to be an environment that is a good for creating and crafting new projects, and then setting them up for success as they take on their mission. So the PL mission is to assist. The PL mission is about computing and improving and accelerating computing. But we do that by supporting these projects. And that's a very important piece because these individual projects have their own goals, their own missions, and their own communities. And that's why there's all these different focuses. So you see all the different logos all over the place, and that's because each community ends up doing different but related things. So in this event, feel free to crosstalk, or I encourage you to crosstalk, to learn about something new. If you hear about something that is very, very new to you, go up to those people later and find out more about it. And to also suggest new ideas that maybe are adjacent to your work or that you're finding along the way. So I think, yeah, this is, I mean, you can think of PL as like this sea of projects, and we want to create a very strong support structure. Think of like a very fast bus connecting all these elements to support our endeavors. And I think with that, I'll just like, we have people all over the world. We have a bunch of different cultures. We work with a ton of people. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.